Hello there. Welcome to the Architect of Hades. Today we are going to be channeling some messages from Lord Hades. We're going to be reading the cards and making sure that the messages we need to hear today are delivered. Feel free to share your insights in the description below. Feel free to let me know how these messages resonated with you. And yeah, you can drop them in the comments below or you can send me a DM on Instagram. I'm on both, so I will make sure to read those and reply as much as I can. Okay? I already have his presence here. I already give an offering to him, lit his candle. If you want to know more about this process, feel free to check out my other video about how to give offerings to Lord Hades. The only thing I'm gonna add in this video is going to be the offering from the collective, from all the people who watches this video and for some reason cannot physically deliver an offering to him. So I have that covered over here as well. And if this is your case, do not worry. If you still want to give him some kind of offering or to say thank you to him, you can do that without giving him a beverage. In that case, you would just connect with him, call him, and express your gratitude for everything and maybe have a talk with him, okay? So, Lord Hades, God of the dead and King of the underworld, I present this offering for you in the name of all the individuals that cannot physically present an offering for you for these messages we're about to receive from you. Okay, let's get started. I always use playing cards for this, and I will not directly look at the camera just because I am absorbed in the moment. Sometimes I see images, sometimes I hear things, and my eyes just jump here and there, okay? Let's give these cards a good shuffling, and you let me know how do you want to proceed with this readings. 9 cards, okay. We will do a 9 cards reading to see the things that come up, and I will break this deck in 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm gonna take 3 cards from each one. And let's see what do we have here. I really love to see the Joker every time it jumps up. Traditionally, the Joker has a very different meaning in readings, but for me, that's my identifier. One of my identifiers for Hades, he's present, his reassurance, and I have 3 identifiers for him in the playing cards, and each one has a different relationship regarding the reading or what I'm asking for, okay? But I really love always to see these identifiers. I don't know, it makes my heart full. Because I already know it's gonna be a great reading, you know? And it is, it looks like. So right now I'm just organizing things around. Here we have 4 cards in diamonds. We have 3 cards in clubs, 1 card in hearts, and the Joker. And under the deck we have the Queen of Hearts. We don't have spades here. Okay, our highlight right now, it's coming from this suit of diamonds, which talks about physical resources, things we have at our own disposal, money, investments, physical tools, our hands, you know, our body, everything that we kind of interact with in the 3D world, in our realm, in our world. And here is talking about a progression of things that have been happening and how you are starting to recognize patterns and things that might not be completely healthy for you at the moment. And this is showing up with the 4 of diamonds, in which this card talks about all the things that not necessarily are related to stability. We know that 4 is a card that talks about a strong setting, a strong stability point. Like think about a table, you know. But some kind is stable, or some way this stable could be in a better disposition. It could have better attributes. You right now are using the table or are using the resources you count with as they are. Okay, this feels like you are aware that this tool or these things you count with are important, that you are using them at a certain level, but you know that this could be better. You know that you could upgrade things, and you could make life or your experience in general a lot more easy, a lot more fluid. You know what I mean? To to make sure that these things you're using can be better. And you also know that by upgrading some things, maybe in your physical space, in your surroundings, that can bring you a lot of peace, a lot of emotions. Maybe you're someone that likes to upgrade things or to change things around in your space. If not, that's okay. That's just something that's coming to mind. But you know that this can change. You know that what you currently have is not the end story. It's not the conclusion of the story. But in some way, you are kind of trapped in this feelings or emotions like, if it's working, why am I going to change this? You know, it's kind of like, I don't know if you know this saying that's about, if it's working, why are you going to touch it? And sometimes this is real. Sometimes, in some cases, this can be applied. But this is a calling for you to ask yourself, of course, if this resonates with you. How can you upgrade or how can you change your perspective about the things you currently have in your life to make your life better, to make your experience better? Because maybe you have, and maybe not, I see that here. You have a lot of qualities that can make you a very successful person, not because you are not right now, you definitely are. You carry that within you. But if I know that what I have right now is fulfilling a purpose, and I also know that what I have right now can be better because I want things to be better, because I want that my tools to be better. Why am I not taking action towards those things? You know? Now, moving on to the next cards, the Six of Diamonds, the Seven of Diamonds, and the Nine of Diamonds. These cards are talking a lot about the way in which you work, the way in which you move forward regarding all of the things you know you must do, or your work, your tasks, your to-do list. And you approach things in a very sincere way. You are looking at things or experiences that are feeling very generous in a way. It's like what I'm getting, the image I'm getting is someone that is resourceful, someone that is able to help others. And it's also someone that gets rewarded by helping other people, by using their gifts, by using their tools to help other people. So this is also talking about, now that we have a full vision of the diamonds that are showing up right now, this is also showing up as the way in which, if you are someone that provides a service to other individuals, which is the Six of Diamonds, a service card. If you are someone who volunteers, someone who uses their gifts, their talents, their skills to help and serve other people, we are not talking about money here, okay? We're talking just about the physical act of serving in whatever spectrum that is. This is a general reading. This is also a calling for you to ask yourself, how can you better your processes? How can you make your management the things that help you grow, that help you serve these people, how can you make them better? How can you make your life easier to make sure that the processes work with you? Okay, I don't like to use the term work for you. In those cases, I prefer to have an approach of we are co-creating. Okay, and what I'm getting right now, the other thing I'm hearing right now, it's talking about administrative tasks. For example, as an example, in which sometimes we are creative, sometimes we're psychics, and it's okay if we don't know how to organize or manage things. But the thing is that there's always multiple sides to an experience, okay? And we can see that also as in shadow work, when we want to only work with light, when only we want to work with healing things, with good things, but we could be at some point neglecting or not investing work or time in, for example, shadow work, okay? Which is not something very the very fulfilling, let's say, because it can be very painful. But I like to use metaphors so you can see how things locate in another spectrum of things. So it's also a calling, and apply this to your unique case. But how can you make sure that you look at a bigger picture? How can you make sure that all the things you are working on are optimized so you can express your full potential, so you can be an integration of all the things you're working on, of all the topics and projects you are working on at the moment to help you become more successful, okay? Because we don't always cannot process, for example, payments. Let's say an example, we cannot process all the payments. Let's say that 100 orders come, but you prefer to have a system to process those things. That would be optimization of the processes, okay? um, Look for resources on the net, and kind of this also feels like kind of embrace all the aspects with the nine of diamonds. This also feels like embrace all the things and all the steps in your journey that can help you become independent, that can help you feel empowered, that can help you feel um, like you are part of a system that works with you, that allows you freedom, that allows you to live life, to experience things. And how can you nurture, sustain, and optimize those processes and systems in your life? This doesn't necessarily have to be about business, but it's just an example. um, how can you make all of that work with you? Okay, how can you embrace that change? How can you embrace those things that we don't like to do or we don't feel completely called to do, but we know we gotta do them, we gotta invest time in them? Okay, it's an invitation for you to explore and to ask yourself how how it's your relationship with these topics, and how can you make your table better? Okay? If you have the possibility to improve things and to grow, then do it. Then do that. Because if I have this table and I have the resources to make it better, to maybe paint it, this is not mine, just in case you ask. But if I can paint this table so that affects my mood, that affects the way in which I work, in which I present myself into the things I do at the moment, okay? So it's also a thing relating about design, in which in architecture and design, everything has a purpose, everything has a meaning. The colors we use, the lighting we use affect our mood. So how are you making sure that all the things that surround you also serve you? Okay, that's the topic about diamonds. Now let's talk about the clubs. The clubs, or the wands in tarot. Here we have the 9, the 10, and the page. of clubs, the Page of Clubs. This energy feels a lot like battling, like struggling, like going against the waves. The ones are related to um, our creativity, our inner fire, our spirit, um, even our ideas at some point. It kind of crosses the realm of the space with the mental world, but the ones also talk about the ideas we invest in, the actions we take to make those wishes come true. And we have the Jack here, Jack of Clubs, which is someone that really enjoys to participate in activities that nurture this fire. This is also about someone who enjoys attention, who enjoys to be in the spotlight. And it's related to Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Very dominant, very important, relevant signs on each way. Okay? But in general, it's someone who enjoys this attention, this fire. Okay, they are aggressive, they are driven force, um, they are action, they are everything about action and implementing things and making sure that their way is the way things are supposed to be. Okay, because they are very, very fiery. Okay, and fire tends to be a little bit wild if not handled correctly, you know. But with the 9 and the 10 of clubs, this also feels like getting to a point of exhaustion. This feels like there's a lot that you have been doing, that you have been handling for a long time, and it also feels like you having these sensations inside of your body that maybe it's time to take a break. Maybe you have been putting a lot of effort and a lot of work in something, and you also could experience these feelings of I need to work really quickly, I need to move, I need to move, I need to act. Okay, and it's curious because while reading these cards, the desire, what I want to do is to slow down, maybe just because I am a water sign mainly my chart, and fire kind of evaporates everything in me. But um it's important to recognize these things, you know. But in general, this feels like things have been moving. And now that I think about that, the 9 of clubs is in reverse, which I didn't notice before. And this also could talk about how you have been trying so hard to move things, to make sure everything moves in a direction, to everything works out correctly. But in some way, things could not be coming up as you expected. And the projects and the ideas and the creativity you could have had before could not be present right now. Okay? Let's just resonate with you. And it's like, I know I have the power, I know I have the knowledge, I know I want to do this. But there's something that I cannot completely figure out that doesn't allow me to move forward. Okay? Let's keep going and then at the end we will make sure that everything kind of puzzles together, okay? Now, we have the Four of Cups or the Four of Hearts, which is the only card we have in the reading right now. If we are not talking about the calendar, the deck, which we will cover in a moment. The Four of Hearts. The heart is everything about emotions. It's about intuition. It's about love. Other topics related to love. um, and And it's an energy that also is related to stability, to wanting or to be looking for that emotional stability, you know. The Four of Hearts also presents itself as the things we do not perceive immediately, or those kind of wishes in which we are like, I really want this, I really need this, I really desire, I would really desire to have a cup at the moment, and you have it there. It's in your hands. Okay? And you could be experiencing some kind of emotions like, I cannot connect well with my intuition right now, and you keep asking, you keep looking for answers, you keep questioning yourself and doubting whether or not the things you are feeling are the right ones to move with. Okay? You could be a very emotional person, someone that is driven by their emotions. And just to clarify, if you do not feel aligned with a concept in your life about taking decisions based on your intuition or emotions, that's totally okay. You can keep hearing the message, take what resonates, leave the rest. But for some people, for example, my case, I take decisions based on my emotions, and for others, it's something similar. So this could also feel like that storm. I'm getting clashing waves. I'm getting not tsunamis, but like, you know, when the ocean is agitated. That's the image I'm getting right now, and it's something that you carry inside of yourself. It's something that you constantly experience and ask yourself, like, okay, I know that I gotta take decisions based on my intuition, based on what I feel is right for me, because maybe I've asked my deities about what step should I take, and they only tell me to follow my heart. And that could be, at a certain point, some kind of frustrating. And I see that. I feel the frustration with the Four of Hearts, because it's like, why you cannot help me with this? Why cannot you help me take a decision? And sometimes that's just because you're meant to understand even your own chaos inside, to learn and to feel that chaos and try to come to a peace with it, so you can make a decision by yourself. Because the lesson we are learning here, and the lesson we all are learning here, because this is a collective message even for me, I do receive this for me as well. The lesson we are learning here is to learn to be independent, learn to stand in our power, to stand our ground, to be responsible for our own decisions. And sometimes we could be experiencing these feelings of, help me, I really need your help, I really want your support, I really, I mean, I have deities for them to help me. Even. Um, that's not always true, must say. But the lesson here is to actually learn, Queen of Hearts, learn to make a common ground, learn to find a common ground between our mind and between our emotions. Okay? And the Queen of Hearts, it's a card widely known um, around the world, but for me, this card has always spoken about being in control, not totally in control, um, but being in understanding. I prefer that term. Being in understanding of who I am as an individual, of what are my needs, of understanding that maybe if I cannot take a decision right now, maybe I can take it later when I feel more grounded. Or maybe I understand that for me to take the right decision, I need to be quick. Sometimes that's the problem. You haven't been able to take a decision because you procrastinate so much, and you dwell on the question, and you dwell on the whether it's the right one or not. And this is the point in which we start to take all the meanings of these cards. I like to read a story. Okay, so the the nine of clubs in reverse, which talks about not moving forward, not finding a way. Remember when we talk about understand that I need to move forward, but maybe I don't know not how to move forward, or I don't know what are the steps I need to take. The clubs is also a card about experience, about learning, about going out in the world and discovering things, or maybe taking a bunch of books and reading them and internalizing that knowledge. But what happens when you gather all that knowledge? You need to apply that. And that's the portion and the realm of the spades. Okay? Because where experience lies in the clubs, the spades rule the wisdom of those experiences. And the fact that we have no card here about spades talks to me that we are still in this process of learning how to move forward in this process of learning how to listen to ourselves, how to um, learn to understand even the wilderness that could exist inside of our bodies, inside of our minds and spirits. So, the lesson here, the message here, just to recap, it's about finding a common ground. It's about finding kind of a point of diplomacy between all the parts of myself and learning to understand how I take decisions, how I prefer to take decisions, and maybe even just accepting the truth that has been always there with the Four of Hearts. Maybe you are, maybe, and this is just speculation, don't take it to heart, okay? Maybe I've been procrastinating saying yes to a job because deep down I know that I really, really do not want to be in an office. Maybe I know I really just want to explore the world. Maybe I know that I am meant for so much more than maybe just being in an office. And that has nothing wrong with it. That's just how you were created. How's your personal settings? Your personal settings might be in an office, and that's completely fine. But for other people, the reason why I may not move forward is because there could be something missing. There could be something I am holding on to change, to transforming myself, to take the step forward. And remember that healing and change is something that takes courage. It's totally okay to be afraid of healing, of change, of transformation and evolution. And being devoted, for example, to Hades, and having received these messages from Hades makes total sense. Because he's the master of transformation, evolution, shadow work, all the things in the unconscious, everything we deny, we reject, and all the even ugly and dirty things we don't want to face. Maybe there's something you are neglecting about yourself. Maybe you are just scared of the change that you know is coming, and you're making everything in your power to stop it, even unconsciously. How can you face that? Are you asking yourself? Because it's fine, everybody talks always about all the problems you have, but there's little information about how to actually face them. How do you face those things? Shadow work is one of them. You can do shadow work from many different perspectives. The most easy one, or the most general one, would be to journal your thoughts, to journal your experiences, to journal your mind, your thinking. Maybe grabbing a notebook and writing down, I am feeling this way. Identify what are you feeling in the moment? How are you feeling at this moment? That's gonna help you, and that's gonna guide and shine a light over where's the path I move forward? Am I jealous of other people's success? Am I angry I have not yet achieved that thing? And if I'm angry about why I am not in the same place as another person, you need to ask yourself first about if that thing the other person is doing is the very thing you want to do. If, for example, you are just neglecting in a way the gifts you have because you want to be accepted by other people, and the thought maybe of exploring a path of your own seems too scary, that you prefer to have what somebody else has. Okay, this is just speculation, tips for you to shine a light on this topic. Okay? And you're gonna start to journal of those things. You don't need to find an answer the same day. You don't need to find the reason why all of this is happening right now. You just need to feel these things. You need to understand how you are processing these emotions. For example, in my case, whenever I procrastinate a decision, I know that most of the time, right now, after I've gone through all the process of shadow work and learning about myself and all that, right now I know that if I procrastinate a decision, it's because deep down I really don't feel attracted to that, or I don't feel that's aligned with myself. But recognizing that is not enough, because you also need to develop boundaries. You need to understand that just recognizing that if I procrastinate something doesn't mean that it's not only because it's not for me, but how are you actively avoiding to take a decision, to stand your ground, and to say, hey, I really do not feel like I vibe with this. I want to change my decision. I change my mind. I'm out of here, and I'm going to take a decision that feels more aligned with who I am. Okay? So it's a lesson in both parts. Not only recognizing the emotions, but also being aware of how are you going to move forward. What are the steps you need to take to break that pattern, for you to not stay repeating the same things that keep you trapped in this energy of being stuck, of being quiet, of being too grounded to the earth in a not that possible way. And that also comes with the Seven of Spades, which was under the Queen of Hearts, which talks about those lies we tell to ourselves, those overthinking processes and patterns we endure and we go in life. Okay, so that was our message for this Scorpio Moon, and I really enjoyed them, and I definitely feel called out. So if you feel that this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Yeah, subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. You know, all the good things that help me grow and change. And I would love to meet you. So let me know in the comments how everything resonated. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing this journey with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.